Namaste everyone. My humble pranams to each and everyone. Welcome to day 10, another session of Breath Awake 21-day meditation online program. Today's agenda, we'll begin the session with guided meditation by Shibu, and then experience sharing, and then followed by wisdom session. In the end, we'll have a Q&A for the questions from the participants, to answer the questions from the participants. Thank you. Welcome, Shibu. Over to you.
Thank you, Sushma. Thank you so much. Welcome to day 10, dear friends. Good morning and good evening. Double digits, almost halfway stage. So yesterday, we had a beautiful session on energy, like the way Yash started the session with everything is energy. And she also gave us ways, techniques, or ways rather, to raise our vibration, right? One of the greatest or one of the highest vibration frequency, which Yash mentioned, is gratitude. So let's be in gratitude. Let's be in gratitude, and there's so many ways, so many different reasons why we should feel grateful, right? Could be as simple as being alive. Itself is a great reason to be grateful for. All of us are here meditating as a group. So let's be grateful, let's be in gratitude. And slowly settle in. Be very comfortable, my dear masters. When you're comfortable and relaxed, Close your eyes. We've been meditating for 9 days, and this is day 10. And we know when we sit in meditation, a lot of thoughts, sensations, a lot of thoughts come to our mind, right? A few emotions, there are sensations on the body, but you can feel they're always there. It's just that when we start meditating, we are now aware of them. And we know that some of these are pleasant and some of them are not pleasant. They're unpleasant. So our nature is we generally tend to enjoy the pleasant ones and reject the unpleasant ones, right? That's the nature of our mind. It's always craving for the pleasant and an aversion for the unpleasant ones. The problem with this is enjoyment, the pleasant or the unpleasant, the left or the right, right? If we go with either of this, we are trapped. The goal in meditation is to go beyond the mind, right? But this is a mind trap. If we go left or to the right, we still get trapped. We'll not be able to go beyond it, which is our goal in meditation. Go beyond the mind. Calm down the mind, go beyond it, right? So for this, we need to practice neutrality, not to go with the pleasant or not to go with the unpleasant ones. Being equanimous, being the observer, pure observer, the witness, and stay neutral. That's the middle path, equanimity. With this, let's get into practice of meditation, my dear masters. Please scan through your body and see if there is any tension anywhere. Meditation starts with relaxing the body and then the mind. Let's be absolutely comfortable. No to-do list. There's nothing to do right now. Eyes are the window of the mind, and they're closed. See if every part of your body is relaxed, head to toe. Are you holding on to something? Let go. Relax. Relax more and more. This is our time, our me time. Slowly bring your attention to your normal, natural breath. We're not trying to manipulate the breath or change it. Body is breathing and we are observing. We are the pure observers. The neutral observers. Just flow with your breath. Your in breath. Your out breath. Just be with your breath. Thoughts will arise. Simply come back to the breath. Just be with the breath. Let's be the neutral observers. Let's not go with the thoughts. Just be with your natural breath. Let's continue to be with the breath, dear friends. Normal, natural breath. Continue to be with the breath, dear friends. Last 2 minutes. Slowly come back, dear friends. Please take your time. No hurry at all. Whenever you're ready, slowly unclasp your hands. You may rub your hands for a few seconds. Place it on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. A big smile. Thank you all.
Thank you, Shibu. That was an amazing, amazing meditation. It was awesome today. Thank you. So friends, I hope everyone has come back from meditation. So our next section is experience sharing. Today we have Madhavi Bodhapudi from St. Augustine, Florida, who is an IT professional to share her spiritual journey in the PSSM. She got introduced to breath meditation in the year 2021 during COVID pandemic. With meditation practice, she has healed her inner child and transformed from state of ignorance to realizations and practicing conscious living. She is very passionate about gardening, cooking, and like to feed others. That brings her immense joy. Welcome, Madhavi. Over to you.
Thank you, Sushma. Good evening and good morning, Masters. I would like to first express my respectful salutations to Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji. And thank you, Meditation Magic, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm sharing my experience for the first time in PSSM platform. I have met Prashanti Jagarlamudi in the year of 1999 at my first job interview. Only last year, in the month of September, I realized why I met her back then. Through Shanti, I was meant to be introduced to Pyramid Spiritual Society meditation, and I heard about Subhash Patriji from her. Gratitude to Shanti. I have everything, all the so-called society decided social metrics to define happiness. There is no reason to be sad, but I used to feel sad deep within most of my life. I was in desperate search of Guru who could eliminate the confusions I was having throughout my life. The 18 principles of PSSM, each principle made me feel like, yes, this is what it is. I was convinced by PSSM ideology and believed in it from day one. Like every beginner, I started to meditate on and off initially. And within that few times of meditation, I have had encouraging experiences. Every time I feel low or sad, I used to meditate, and it helped me boost my energies and the mood. Ever since I started meditating, there were many events and series of realizations. I would like to share a few now, and one of those is how my childhood baggage of emotions and the clutter within me got cleared after I started this meditation journey. In like how we call it as the inner child healing in the meditation language. In the month of February, I had to go to India to take care of my dad for 3 weeks. So within that 3 weeks, I was in the hospital for 17 days. And my father has gone through all the pain, suffering, which we never imagined of. And it is something no one should ever experience. I happened to listen to a book called Echoes of the Soul while I was taking care of my dad in the hospital. And first time I got introduced to the concept of soul's awareness around birth and death. And this book has helped me to deal emotional challenges. And my dad had gangrene and his toes were removed. And the one sentence my brother uttered in my ears while we were in the hospital had a major impact on me. Doctors chopped his fingers like chicken and mutton. And that's it. End of my meat eating life. Finally, dad was discharged from the hospital with half successful treatment and my job half done, not knowing how my dad will recover, how my mom would manage, came back to USA. Then I started to meditate every day and completed 41-day meditation. As I know, my job was half done and had to go back to India to take care of my dad again. This time I went to India for 5 weeks. And I was super determined to bring my dad back to normal. And within this 5 weeks of my stay in India with my parents, I've had many realizations. The first and foremost is the strength, both physical and emotional. I gain a lot of strength in both these aspects. It's just because of the practice I was doing because of the Anapanasati. And I was handling things pretty much alone, putting up a brave face, And all the physical and emotional strength is coming from the audiobooks I came across, messages from different masters, and my serious belief and practice of Anapanasati. And the most important thing, my inner child healing was happening. I used to feel that I was not nurtured well by my parents, and with my ignorance, I used to feel I was self made, and me being a girl child, my dad never took good care of me. And the major realization I got during that time is my father gave me a big gift. He took the pain and suffering to give me the big gift of driving me into the right path of enlightenment. He made me quit non veg by sacrificing his own body parts. The egoistic thought of I am self made and dad didn't do anything for me erased completely from my mind and body. Through my dad, I also learned what it means to live in the present moment. There is not even a single day that passed by thinking in my mind that I left my parents when I was 18. I'm glad and happy my parents are alive and healthy, but what is the use? I never stayed with them. This is one of my sad points where my inner child has been crying every day. And I realized that I phrased my manifestation in a wrong way. Why did I even feel bad for not being with them in their house? We regularly visit to India, they come here, but still I carried the thought of me, just me, not being with my parents. Now, only because my dad got super ill, I went and stayed with them for 5 weeks. I would have not got that opportunity if things are normal. To heal the inner child within me, my dad took the suffering. He made me go to him and made me heal from inside. During that stay with my parents, I did not miss my children, my husband, nor my focus was not diverted anywhere else. And those precious 5 weeks, every moment spent as per my manifestation. My ignorant manifestation came true, but I realized how important it is to keep our brain empty. Although the intentions might be right, but we have to be super cautious when making a thought in which we are involving others. I started living in the present moment since then. No past, no future. Especially, I made a big statement in my mind. No thinking that involves another person. Just stay within, seeking myself through Anapanasati. And within 24 hours a day, spending 1 hour to observe our breath helps us realize what we are. More sadhana helps more realization and lays paths to enlightenment. And since my childhood, I was always desperate for my parents to understand how much I love them. This 5 weeks of time I spent, every moment I spent with them, taking care of my dad, I sensed and genuinely felt, yes, they do know that I love them. It is me who was seeing them in a different way. So many such series of events and realizations, like I am now emotionally healed completely within a short span of time ever since I started meditation. And all my relationships have become more true and nothing is fake anymore. And I taught meditation to my parents and introduced PSSM. They're practicing with belief. And before I end my experience sharing, coming into this Pyramid Spiritual Society meditation, every minute I learn to be aware of my own self. And I do not manifest any more knowingly or unknowingly. I start keeping my mind empty. All I think about is meditation, to practice right meditation. No blame game, no carrying guilt, including no blaming myself. Most importantly, I'm practicing to respond and not to react. I'm making conscious effort to respond to people, putting my ego aside. That was my biggest challenge. I am gaining clarity and not being overcautious anymore, which were a few more challenges that I've had in my life. And I am so thankful and heartful gratitude towards Patriji. I visited Kartal in the month of June 2022 along with my dad. My dad wasn't in a walking position, so he couldn't get off the car, but I still went inside, sat inside the pyramid and meditated. But that time, Patriji was conducting 41-day meditation classes. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet him because I couldn't stay there due to my dad's health condition, and I really missed that opportunity. But I feel grateful. This is a blessing for me. Asking me to give my experience sharing in this platform is a blessing. Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you, Madhavi. Wonderful, wonderful sharing and great transformation. I'm sure it has motivated a lot of people, and it's everybody's journey of PSSM. You have told everybody's journey. Thank you very much. Okay. So, friends, let us move to next section of today's wisdom session by Sunil. Sunil is an IT professional, specialist for product management and marketing. Sunil got introduced to breath meditation in the year of 2004. Since then, he has been experimenting and exploring the spiritual path. He loves to do reading and artwork. So let's welcome Sunil. Namaste.
Thank you,
Sunil,
Sushma.
and
Namaste. A very good morning and good evening to the remain in the other part of the world. Great. Am I audible, Sushma? Is it clear? Okay. Thank
yes.
you. Thank you. So that was a wonderful meditation. I also sat throughout and it was really very peaceful. Thank you, Shibu, for that. And wonderful experience sharing by Madhaviji. A lot of beautiful things happening today. Well, this is what the beauty about this meditation, Anapanasati meditation, discovered by the Grand Master, the Supreme Master, Gautama Buddha. There are a lot of things Gautama Buddha has given to this world. So today, let us pick one of those beautiful set of package, I would say, which has transformed millions. And that is nothing but eightfold path. So this is something written by Gautama Buddha by himself. So let's just discuss that today and how that has got any importance in our journey of this meditation life. Let me just try sharing my screen. Sushma, once you see my screen, if you can please confirm. Is it visible?
Yes, we can see now.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's full screen. Yeah, okay. So, eightfold path. So these eightfold paths are something which, as I said, has touched millions of souls across. This is given a beautiful, I would say, a vision, if you call it from a corporate language, a path for us to follow. So once we follow this, there's sure success and sure realization in this journey of spirituality. So let's understand, let's just see what are those 8 points. Right view or understanding, right resolve or intent or thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So he beautifully put all these 8 points in 3 categories called Sila, Samadhi, and Prajna. What you see on the screen is the Pali language in Panna. So these 8 points are categorized in these 3 sections in order to follow in a sequence way. So what is the outcome? the outcome is nirvana. Let's see what exactly these three categories are. So Sila is all about morality. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lies, no intoxication. Samadhi is all about controlling our mind, the mindfulness, the meditation practice. And Prajna is all about purification of the mind, the wisdom, the knowledge that we attain. So this is how the sequence is. So he has further beautifully categorized this into this image that you see here. So if you see this image, Sila is at the bottom. That's the foundation. And a right foundation set is giving a very good Samadhi, and then Panna, that is the Prajna. So if you see the tomb-like structure, the foundation is the most important aspect here. So if we have a good, strong foundation, rest everything is easier to take care, right? So also what you see in this foundation is all about before meditation. That is what you need to do, how you need to do, or it's all about the lifestyle. It's all about right speech, right action, right livelihood. If I just go back to this screen here, yeah, the right speech, right action, and right livelihood. So right speech, as we all know, is all about the words that we speak. The words has to be right. So ensure that we are aware of what we speak. It's not hurting anyone. What we speak is making sense. Right action is all about our own action. It could also be your intent. It may not be just what you speak, it's also your intent. Right livelihood is the right way of our own livelihood. We are all engaged in various jobs and businesses and a lot of things. So the right livelihood. Imagine if we are into burglary or killing somebody. Would that be in a good state of mind? Would that give a good state of mind to practice meditation? Might not. So these are so important, that sets the base. So the most important aspect here we want to bring here is the state of mind, the peaceful state of mind, the right conduct, the right state. So this sets the tone. So when we are in this right speech and right action and following a right livelihood, this gives, the only result is very simple thing and so profound and important. And that's the right peaceful state of mind. Having this foundation, we now move into the next step, is the right effort. The Samadhi is all about right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So this is where we put that effort to sit, to meditate, giving ourselves that commitment and bringing the practice of that mindfulness, which is nothing but the observation. So when we say observe your breath, we are cutting the thoughts, cutting all other unwanted things chatter in the mind, and then we are bringing an element of observation to our breath. And you keep observing the breath, and that gives results into concentration. And it's the concentrated mind that will give you the right understanding, which is at the top, that is prajna. And with right understanding, you get a clarity. Now, to just give a brief about understanding, what is understanding all about? So understanding is nothing but looking at things just like the way they are, looking at things neutrally, without any judgment. Right? So mind, if you look at, is all about positive, negative. It has all the things in the mind, right? Positive, negative, or various emotions going through. As long as we get engaged to these positive and negative, we don't want to rule out positive here. It's not just the negative. As long as the mind is engaged with both positive and negative, we are stuck. That's when we start getting into judgment, and we get into the non-awareness state. The whole purpose here is to go beyond this mind. Mind is that monkey mind. So you're going to go beyond this mind. So staying neutral is the key here. And if you stay neutrally and look at the things as they are, that is when we develop that deeper understanding. We develop that knowledge. So when you look at things as in a neutral way, then it's a great revealing. I mean, that's the ultimate, I would say. So the reason when we sit for meditation, we say about cut the thoughts and come back to breath is for this very reason. So initially, it's going to take a lot of time for sure, because we are used to these thoughts. We are so tuned to it. So we come back to breath. It's a practice. It's a daily practice. And that is where your second samadhi, the regular practice, regular effort, your right intent to sit and meditate on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and sitting for a little longer time. So the overall practice will lead you there. So it's so simply put, right? The 8 fold paths put in. I really love this image. And I really do not want to go beyond this slide, because this sets the entire foundation. Have a right foundation and build on it, and be regular with the effort and intent and mindfulness and concentration, and you get that, you be in that pratna. So this is what I really want to share today, and this is so beautiful. We want to really, we have been talking a lot about last few 10 days I've been answering a lot of questions. So most you will find now things at a little higher level, like what exactly we are leading to. So the key words for us to take away from the entire slides are awareness, attention, observation. So all these leads to wisdom, intelligence, and understanding. So again, don't go into the nitty-gritties and keywords and things like that. That is all 8-fold paths and all the these points. Rather, I would say stick to the essence, the understanding. So once we have this understanding about this is how the overall picture looks like, this is how it is, we have to just align ourselves to this path, and you will see the results for yourself. So with this, I would like to end my part of this discussion, and I want to invite Shibu, if you have anything to share further on this 8-fold paths. Shibu has been a master of this, and where I really want to hear more from Shibu.
All right. Thank you so much, Sunil. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. So much wisdom. And this is a beautiful slide for me to pick up from, right? It says gratitude. I think I remember that's how I started my session today. When we went into meditation, almost every day, it's all about gratitude, right? We start with gratitude. And who else to express more gratitude than the great master himself, Buddha? Before we started this program, previous versions used to be called Anapanasati. This whole program is about Anapanasati. Right? We share so many wisdom, so many masters come here. We talk about a lot of spiritual science concepts. Everything is important, but the foundation. When we talked about foundation, what is at the base of it? The foundation is all about the practice of Anapanasati. We talk about the science of meditation and the art of meditation, right? Art is the practice. And such a simple technique. There's so many meditation techniques, but what we're doing here is the most simplest, right? I always keep wondering, initially in my head, it was almost, This is so simple to be true. It cannot be so simple. And I understood the most natural things are the most simple or the most obvious things, right? The most natural are the most simplest. It's just the truth. And this great master gave us this technique. So much in gratitude for this. And all of us are indebted to him for this. So let's also look at the person. It's now known as Buddha, but his name was Siddhartha Gautama, right? Let's look at the person and the path he traveled, because his life is also a message, right? Gandhiji used to say this, life is a message. So let's look at what we can get out of that life itself. As you all know, he was born as a prince. He had everything one would expect, right? He was born in a palace. He had every single material wealth, and his parents did not want him to see the suffering and misery and all the problems in the world, right? So he had a very secluded and I would say protected life. That's the kind of life he had. He only saw richness, happiness everywhere, right? There was no death, there was no problems, there was no issues anywhere. But as life would always throw in the opportunities, right? There in his life also, he started seeing suffering. That was a window of opportunity for him, right? That's what opened things up for him. Then he started questioning it. And his mind, it was all about knowing the truth. What is suffering? What is causing the suffering? And what is the way out, if any, out of suffering? Is there a way out of suffering? And his whole life became a mission for truth. Life dedicated for truth, right? And that's such a profound life to even look at it. To think that he had everything one would want for, right? We all go to work, we do so many things, but he had it all. He had everything. And he had a family too. He left it all. He left everything, every single thing. Think about it, everything in the search of truth. All he wanted was the truth. From there, it was all about effort, right? One phase is leaving everything and moving out in search of truth. But he's going out with a blank slate. He has nothing. He didn't take anything. He just left by himself, not with he didn't have the comfort of anyone, right? He didn't have the comfort of his soldiers or family, or he didn't take anyone. He left by himself in search of truth without knowing anything. Think about that state of mind where you are ready to do this, to put yourself in such uncomfortable position because the truth mattered. The only thing mattered was the truth. That dedication was total, right? We all learn things. We all go and try and learn things. But in this case, the dedication was total. It was life or death, because nothing else. There was no other choice. It was this or nothing. So he there were so many spiritual teachers at that point in time. There would be yoga, there would be so many paths, there are scriptures. He would go to each and every master, whoever was available. He would just go, he would be their student. Again, we have to understand that his dedication was total. To him, the only thing mattered was the truth. So he would try it. He would try it all to see if it works for him, right? So his learning, obviously, he'd be learning it in a much faster manner because this is the only thing which mattered, right? What someone would take a lifetime, he would learn in few days or months' time, because that focus, that dedication, that search for truth. But nothing really satisfied him. None of this satisfied. He was not happy with that secondhand theoretical knowledge, right? Definitions. It is never about definitions. Sunil just mentioned as well, not to go by the words or the definitions. He wanted it firsthand, to understand this in a more personal perspective, experience it. He wanted to experience it, right? So that effort was so total, so complete, that he would go the word effort itself has a new definition, right? The way he tried it. He would go without food, just go to the extremes of it, to the point that there was nothing else left to try, because he has seen it all. this total, complete effort. That is where that one moment where, he stopped, sat under that Bodhi tree. That image we all know. It is now the symbol for peace, calm. It's everywhere, right? That image, and that we all know the story about sitting under the Bodhi tree. But the part which went before that, the total effort, the complete total effort which he had to go through, and then he came and sat there. And that is where something magical happened, right? Till now, it was always trying. It was always effort. It was always wanting. He wanted enlightenment. He wanted this. He wanted that. He wanted the knowledge, right? That was the point when he even left that. He even left the desire for enlightenment. He didn't want anything. It was very simple. That is at one moment where he sat by himself. He was just happy by himself. He was complete. That one moment, there was completeness in him. All he had was the breath. Went back to the breath, sat by himself, no expectations. Again, this is the man who went to the limits of effort. And then he left it all, total and complete. And the realization had to be instantaneous, right? For a man like this, who had seen it all, tried it all, and then realized it. That's where, under that tree is where Anapanasati originated, right? That's when he discovered the sign, discovered it. Again, look at the greatness of this man, where he didn't stop there. He had enlightenment, right? Yes, he had enlightenment. He had everything. Now he had this too. But he didn't stop there. This man would go back and teach meditation to anyone who would listen to him. Right? Anybody. He would teach meditation. He would pick up followers. He would spend the remaining part of his life traveling wherever he can and teach meditation to all. It doesn't matter if it was a commoner, a person who was walking by the road, or if it was a king or an emperor. Right? It doesn't matter. It's all the same. Enlightened. He was enlightened. He looked at everybody as souls. To him, it was all souls. And he taught and taught and taught. So that's that service phase of him, where relentless service. He went back and taught this to everybody. And it was all about breath. And why is it significant? There are so many other types, the yogas and paths and stuff like that, right? But this is one thing where it was so simple that anybody can do it. It is universal because it is based on breath. We are all connected by breath. There is no difference. There is no Sunil's breath or Sushma's breath or Shibu's breath. It's all our breath. It's breath. It is breath. It is universal. It is the physical form of the all consciousness or the unmanifest we talk about, right? It is the universal. It's a connected layer. So that it is accessible to all of us. It is not something which we have to go and go anywhere, right? Just comfortable, being with the breath, and then experiencing, and then that's where everything else comes alive, right? Everything which Sunil just talked about. How you realize it is just by being with the breath and not doing anything else, right? This is magical, all about breath. And again, he had the joy, he was joyful, but he wanted it for all. The beauty of Buddha and the greatness of Buddha, and why he's the greatest master, is because he rediscovered the meditation. The meditation was there, but he rediscovered it and made it available as a package for everybody. The science of observation, the simple science of observation, and making sure that everybody does not follow some theories and definitions, right? Instead, they go within and understand their truth for themselves. And he gave the simple technique. He taught them the science and gave them the technique. And this is the greatness of this master. Even when he was ready to leave, even when he was ready to vacate his body, when everybody was so sad, right? It was, for him, it was never about him or anything, right? It was never about him. It was always about the actual technique. He realized his truth by going within, and he wanted everybody to do that. And his last words were also, Appo Deepo Bhava. Be a light unto yourself. Right? You realize that truth, not go asking for anybody, right? Just go within and find that truth. This is why he's the greatest. This is why he's the greatest master, right? The greatest spiritual scientist of our time. My gratitude and all our gratitude to this great master. Thank you.
Thank you, Shibu. Thank you so much for sharing and expressing the gratitude to the master. Over to you, Sushma.
Thank you, and thank you, Sunil and Shibu. I don't have any more words than wow, just wow. You have explained the Eightfold Path in a very, very simple way. It just got stuck in our mind, right thinking, right action is just very understandable to everyone. And wow, Shibu, you have mentioned about the Grand Master Buddha, how he left everything and gave us this grand and meditation to everyone. I know the Buddha's technique is the mother for all the techniques, right? So, and my humble gratitudes to Grandmaster Buddha. My simple story about Buddha, before coming into this, I used to see a lot of Buddha statues as just as a decoration. And now, if I just see a Buddha, small or big, it just, the gratitude pours from my cells, each cell from my body. I'm like that much deep gratitude to Buddha. And thank you for sharing and remembering us his great story again. Thank you both very, very much. So with this, let us move to Q&A section. So friends, any questions, please, regarding the session, please post here.
I think somebody has raised a hand.
So there is one question from Lakshmi Sandhya. So based on your experience, can you elaborate Buddham Sharanam Gacham, Sangam Sharanam Gacham by Yashoda and by Buddha?
There is one more sequence added by Patriji. Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, and Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami. So it's again, so this is an elaborate, it's going to be an elaborate answer to, paraphrase in such a short span of time. I think I'll come up with a detailed one in the Telegram group with a detailed thing. But this is, again, the reason I narrated about Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami. So that's the flux, that's the ultimate thing that we need to come back. The Dhyana, Patriji famously mentioned, this was very famous and profound, and everybody relates to this, Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami. Get into that path of Dhyana, concentrated mind, observe your breath, come back. And that's where everything resides. As we all know, Shibu explained, the Gautama Buddha discovered he practiced a lot, many different types of meditation. Finally, after exhausting, he's sitting under the tree, and the only thing he could sense was his own breath. He kept observing, and that is when, with that profound, with that continuous observation, he got awakened, he got enlightened. So let's now settle with the Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami, and I'll come back with the answers, the elaborated one, which I usually do in the Telegram group. But good question, Lakshmi Garu.
I think Ashok sir's hand is up. Can we please unmute him?
Thank you, Shibuji, and thank you, Sunilji. My gratitude for such a beautiful explanation. Actually, I have two questions today. Two small confusions I want to clear myself. One is that karma, duty versus karma. That is dharma versus karma. I don't know. For example, a soldier duty is to kill the enemy. So definitely he is a human being. He has a body, which is a chemical factory, and many emotions and many feelings will generate. First of all, there is also a confusion whether thoughts are generated from the feelings and the emotions, or emotions and feelings are generated from the thoughts. I don't want to analyze too much, because I am very convinced that too much analysis leads to paralysis. But still, because I was listening to a book, Power of Now, in which the author said the feelings actually generate the thoughts. So when a soldier kills the enemy, kills another soldier of the other country, then the feelings will generate, and then what negative thoughts will also come. How to manage that? Whether we should follow the philosophy of Gita, the philosophy which Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna, that is one thing which is coming to my mind. How to come out of that? Although I am not in that profession or that duty, but still that is coming to my mind. How to come over that thoughts? Because the soldier will not be doing the meditation when he is on the border. He is not doing the meditation. He is doing his duty. But he has a body, which is a chemical factory. So many chemicals will generate, which can have positive or negative effect on his mind or on his body. So how to overcome that at that time? So this is one thing. I'm confused. Yes. I'm slightly confused, although I'm not in that. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah. Yeah. True. So karma itself is a vast subject, in fact. I think, Ashokji, I need to get back on this aspect also via the Telegram group, because there is a profound, because everybody has got their duty, the karma, and karma has got its own cause and effect, right? So there is a huge cycle, there is a huge process that happens in the karmic kind of, the karmic aspect, the karmic study. So this is something which has to be well thought in detail. And I'll definitely get back on this also in the Telegram group. Coming to thoughts and feelings, yes. So thoughts are something, so there's a fine difference between thought and feeling is the awareness. So when we get involved in a thought, when we get stuck, when we start judging, it's a different emotion and feeling that we get. But when you are in a different state of mind and a thought arises, that's a different, that's like a seeding a thought. That's like you are trying to manifest something. And the awareness is something, the fine line difference between these two. Yeah, we at the moment we do not analyze too much. The only reason we always keep saying do not analyze is to come out of that monkey mind, come out of that mind which always evaluates and judges the positive and negative, because we need to go beyond mind. So once we go beyond mind, when we see things as they are, that's a different state. So there you can actually see the thought, and with that understanding, you can actually manifest things.
May I just add a couple of things, Sunil?
Yeah, please, Shibu. Yeah.
Sure. So this again, from my understanding, karma is what gives us all these life situations, right? Once we come into spirituality, karma is all about learnings, right? It is presenting us with opportunities for us to learn from. So it doesn't matter. Based on our karma, as you said, sir, we will be in whatever life situations, right? Could be a soldier or it could be a software engineer or anything, right? These are all opportunities for us to learn. We are interacting, these new things, new situations and experiences are coming to us from which we can learn. But it's all about, rather than getting into too much technicalities of it, the goal, whatever be the situation, irrespective of the situation, just treat them as that, as a life situation. Just be distinct, let there be a separation between that, right? Whatever be that, even when you are in the battlefield or whether you're sitting in front of a computer, whatever is happening, right? As long as you can see, you can know that this is a role which you are playing. And how do you do that? That is where the whole spiritual practice comes in, right? The enlightenment and the spiritual practice, where knowing who you are. If you know who you are as a soul who is performing a role right now, then things will be much more clear. That is based on the truth, right? That's where we can see things clearly, irrespective of where we are. So just wanted to add that point. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Shibu. I remember soul coming to the earth, to experience certain things. So this is part of that. Ashokji, but nevertheless, we will get back with a detailed answer. Sure.
So I do understand that ultimately in your dharma, according to your dharma, in a situation, in a life situation, one is, so he should follow his dharma. For example, if a soldier is in the battlefield, he has to kill the enemy. So he has to overcome that feeling, because there will be different mindsets of different soldiers. So one will get emotional, or one will get very strong in mind. So it may happen, different type of feelings may come in the soldier's mind, but his dharma is to kill the enemy, to protect his country or her country. So it is just a repetition of Gita's message, Bhagavad Gita's message, that Arjuna has to kill even Bhisham Pitama, whom he loved very much. So because he was on the other side of the battlefield. So I think at that time the soldier will not be doing the meditation, but he will be following his dharma. So that is what I can understand.
Yes, of course. Yes. So the karma, at that moment, he is doing his karma. He is, dharma. He is doing his dharma. There is something to learn from that birth or from that situation. And
although in
these learnings.
Sorry. Although in that particular situation, it may be very, very difficult for that fellow, that person, because it can be easily said while sitting in a comfortable room, but in the battlefield, it may be very, very difficult for him. But yes, because I'll share my one small experience. I recently saw a movie, Lal Singh Chadha. Now, Lal Singh Chadha, when he inducted himself into the army, he was even protecting the soldiers of the enemy. He was taking them, he was killing, he was doing his duty, as well as he was protecting the soldiers of his enemy also. He was protecting his soldiers, and he was protecting the soldiers of his enemy also. So that is what he was doing.
Yes, I haven't watched that movie, sir, but I watched. I think it's based off Forrest Gump. It just so I think he just does. All of us, when something comes in, right? When we hear something, we color it with a lot of additional our own thoughts and the way we observe things, right? There are a lot of filters which comes in. But in his case, it was just going straight, right? He wasn't applying the filters. He didn't think. He just acted. Right? There was clarity in it. But again, I also want to request Sampath to join in this conversation, because it's a very interesting conversation. And Sampath, if you can please unmute and join this very interesting conversation.
Hi, Shibu. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm driving, so there could be some noises. I heard both the questions about Buddham Sharanam Gacchami and those three jewels they call, right? So first I would like to answer that. It is like seek refuge in the enlightenment. Buddham is not Buddha, it's enlightenment, the awakening. You should seek refuge in the awakening. And then Dhamma is following the path which gives you that enlightenment and awakening. That is your Dhamma. Dhamma is Dharma again, okay? And Sangha is whatever you do, like, ultimately it should result in the betterment of the world, which includes yourself. So for now, I just wanted to give the summary of those three jewels. And coming to Sir's question about duty, karma, and dharma, Dhamma has a different meaning altogether, actually. In a higher level, dharma is the law of nature, basically. For example, if there is fire, it will burn. So burning is the dharma of the fire. That's the nature. It will do the same, whether it be with you or with me or with a tree or with anything, right? Fire will do its job. When it comes to humans, for us, it is our duty to do anything which gives peace to the majority of the mankind. So sometimes to give peace to the majority of the mankind, you may have to kill a few people or the enemies, so-called enemies that you call, for the sake of peace of your own land, right? So that's why when you are following your dharma, you don't have guilt. You are at peace. That activity which makes you more peaceful and which makes you not guilty, and that becomes your duty towards yourself and your society, or depending on the context. So that's what I would like to add along with your points, Shibu and Zunil. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sampath. That really helped.
Yeah, thank you, Sampath, thank you, Sampath, for accommodating the questions, even though you were driving. Thank you very much. Sunil, you are going to say something. Please go ahead.
No, I was just checking if there are any more questions we can take.
Yes, so there are no more questions for today. So I think it's time to end the session. So friends, if you have any more questions, please post them in the Telegram and they will be answered. So thank you everyone for joining today's session, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Good.